If Susan Sarandon wanted me to surrender the scarab, heck, I would take it off my back and be like, hey, there you go, I'll do whatever you want. Damn, that woman ages like fine wine. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out this video where I'm just finally got a chance to check out Blue Beetle. So here's my spoiler-free review. Directed by Manuel Soto, Blue Beetle tells the story of Jaime Reyes, who gains the power of this kind of alien biotechnology called the Scarab, and he must deal with this as he becomes the Blue Beetle. I would like to say a huge thank you to all my awesome Patreons who helped to really support the channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, and if you're interested in buying some merch or checking out my debut book, there is a link down below in the description box you can click where you can find all that good stuff. I mean, we don't even know if this movie is going to be connected to the new DC or not. They said it wasn't, then they said it was, so who knows. But I took this movie for what it was. The trailer didn't really sell me on this. I thought it looked a bit too cringy and cheesy. I can say that after coming out of the movie though, there is elements here that I did enjoy, but there is elements that I do think is too cringy and cheesy that didn't need to be in here and would have just made this a very memorable movie. So let's go into some positives straight away. I think for what everyone is given, they do a good job. I think Xolo, Maridueña as Blue Beetle, I think, and Jaime Reyes of course, I think he does a good job. Now if you've seen him as Cobra Kai as Miguel, you're going to get that kind of very similar performance here. Susan Sarandon plays our villain. Did you really care about the villain? No. I think, Susan Sarandon probably saw the script and thought, this is kind of an easy payday here, and she does probably the best she can, but they don't give her enough to develop her. They don't give her enough to really make her like a menacing villain, but as I mentioned, she does what she can do. The supporting cast, again, show up and do what they do. As I said, I can't see anyone is utterly terrible here. The cinematography is nice. This is actually like a well shot movie. It wasn't too much kind of like shaky cam. You could actually see the action quite clear, and also the practical effects that they use with their suits as well, because there was a lot of like kind of behind the scenes photos of Xolo Maridueña's Blue Beetle. I like that they actually opted for the practical suit, and it just pays off in this movie, because I think if it was like CG, it would have been like too bloated, it would have been a lot more messier, and it just wouldn't have been kind of a comprehensible movie, because you would just been distracted by how bad the CG was. Like, for example, like The Flash early this year in 2023. I did also like the fact that this is based around family. I am quite a family person myself, so I could definitely, really enjoy that aspect of the movie. Whether it felt forced at times, whether it didn't, I still think that it still had a nice message overall about loved ones and, teaming up, and, you're going to have dark moments, but it's like how you bounce back from those dark moments. So I think the movie kind of excels in delivering some of those nicer messages that kind of anyone can kind of relate to. There is some fun action set pieces here. Yes, you've probably seen all those set pieces basically in the trailer, but when they were on screen, I had fun. I didn't find myself being bored by this movie, and I just found it to be entertaining. Now, if I'm going to go into the negatives here, I will be honest, the main love interest who plays Jenny, not to say that she was terrible, but her accent must have changed about 40 times throughout this movie, and I was like, does she want to talk like with with just like a silent kind of like normal accent here? Does she want to talk with like a deeper accent? Does she kind of want to put on just a completely different accent? Like I couldn't tell. I was like, why does she sound like really like kind of like a deep voice at times here? Then why is the rest of it just sound like a really like lighter voice? There's a lot of cheesy and cringy elements. I'm going to be honest, the humor did not do it for me at all. I will be honest, I think it was maybe one or two times I did chuckle. That's kind of about it. I think like George Lopez, he wasn't great, guys. I don't really know much of his work, if he's done a lot before, but he just wasn't really great. It just came across too cheesy, and I didn't find it funny. I think it's going to be one of those, you're either going to really find this hilarious, or you're going to be like me and you just don't find it funny. What I do think is a big wasted opportunity here is, I know they kind of like kind of tone this down to maybe cater towards like a younger audiences or to sell more tickets, which I understand. But there is moments where there is some dark imagery and some dark kind of backstory moments, which I actually thoroughly enjoyed. And I was like, oh man, if they made this as like a darker tone movie, and this is probably just my wish because I prefer darker DC in general, this could have really excelled because, for example, we get some backstories without going into too many spoilers here. And that backstory alone, I was like, wow, this is actually quite heartbreaking if they kind of expanded on that. But then there's also a little couple of few moments where you actually see blood, and I was like, wow, why isn't there more of this in this movie, especially as his body's kind of flying everywhere at times. So my overall score for Blue Beetle is a 3 out of 5. Have you seen Blue Beetle? Are you yet to check it out? Well, leave any and all comments down below so we can continue the discussion down there. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button down below, and until the next time I see you, I'll be seeing you later.